Yeah, if you like.
Go for it.
So, yeah, welcome to Hit or Miss podcast. We're recording a little bit out of order, so if I'm not too mistaken, Will, this is going to be episode 1, the first one to come out, yeah?
It is the 18th.
Yeah, so we have a very fitting episode that we're going to review later, because we are going to do an episode review a bit later on, which will be appropriate for our first podcast. But before that, just to clarify, we're going to be splitting the podcast into sections. I believe will be starting off with a little bit of news, yeah?
You want to go straight into the news?
Yeah, if you like, yeah.
Okay, so guys, what do you think of the two pictures? It was very, we released a trailer, well, like, the fans, that was just the fans' speculation.
Yeah.
But we ended up getting two pictures. One of them I liked, very interesting, was the scribbling one on the wood.
Yeah, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that one was definitely the superior one.
Yeah. The second picture just gives me resolution vibes.
I did see a tweet that said all the second picture did was make you yearn for a time when we didn't have to socially distance because all three of them are way too close around the table.
Yeah, it was recorded last year, I believe, in the last production.
Yeah, it was, yeah. Just to clarify, are you okay if we call you Mario, MB494?
Yeah, sure, just call me Mario.
Oh, we'll go with
Sweet. You just let us know, but yeah, I'm Mike, and obviously you know Will, so yeah. Yeah, the pictures. Sorry, I was just gonna say I don't know if you guys have seen any of the speculation that's been making the rounds on Twitter and stuff about that picture that may or may not be in Sharda of Jodie's doctor, sort of counting down the days.
Wait, did you say Sharda?
Yeah. Supposedly that prison that she was locked in at the end of the time of the children. A lot of people are convinced it's Sharda because it looks like it. The sort of prison on an asteroid.
That would be absolutely amazing because I love Sharda.
Yeah. Had you not heard that already, you two?
No, that's the first I heard of it.
Oh, right. Oh, well, fair enough.
The theory I heard for that picture was, she was listening through the wall and she was realizing that the person in the cell next to her was Jack.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that, but I don't know if you guys also saw, this is a really nerdy dive, but they released a T-shirt of Jodie's prison outfit, which just says "Counting Down the Days," and it's got a sort of a series of weird sort of glyphs down one part of the uniform she's wearing, which people have said are very similar to some glyphs from Sharda, which is kind of confirming that suspicion. But they're also exactly the same as some of the robes worn by the Cthulhu in the Time Lord Victorious stuff. So there's a little bit of speculation that might be a possible tie-in to that as well.
I mean, I'm not partaking in any Time Lord Victorious besides the Dalek miniseries.
Yeah, I wasn't going to, but did you catch the trailer for the Daleks miniseries, by the way?
Yes, it looks amazing.
It does, yeah.
It's got the mechanoids in it. Instant win.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, oh, the mechanoids are back for the first time in decades. Awesome.
But I can say that when I saw the pictures, like I sat through the New York Comic Con. I listened to David Bradley, not David Bradley, Bradley Walsh calling the Cybermen Cyber Dudes, and all I got was two pictures.
But I think the pictures, the first one in particular, that's just for promo. I don't think that'll be in the actual episode. But the first,
yeah, I don't know. I can kind of see where Mario's coming from in the fact that it might be a sort of, oh, is Jack in the next cell kind of thing. I hadn't heard that anywhere, but that does make a lot of sense. So maybe.
But yeah, it was a bit disappointing that we didn't get a trailer. When do you guys think it'll come out?
I think
Go for it, Mary.
I think either Children in Need or 23rd November.
Isn't that the same thing?
Is it?
I thought Children in Need was 23rd of November, but yeah, I would have said the same.
Children in Need, that's like the 11th of November, right?
Is it?
I think it's second week in November.
Oh, then I sound like a fool then. Sorry, apologies.
11th of November. They're doing Children in Need on Remembrance Day.
Oh, that's maybe why I was thinking that date then. I'll have a look. No, there's no date. It doesn't say a date.
Well, either way, I agree with you, Mario. I think it'll be released on Children in Need because they always try to release something a bit special. And I don't think they'll release a sort of like they sometimes do, the first 5 minutes or a brief clip. So I think it'll only be a sort of teaser trailer.
Yeah.
Historically, it's been the 21st of November, so it could possibly be the 23rd.
Right. Okay. Do we still? I haven't seen anything about this, but you two might have done a bit of an exploration more than me. Have we had it confirmed that it's going to air on Christmas Day yet?
I've seen that some broadcaster or some service has put it down for a Christmas special, and also in the live stream that was the other day at the Comic-Con, I believe it was, the moderator, the account that had the video on their channel, they said nothing beats a Doctor Who Christmas special.
Yeah,
awesome.
I was going to bring up that. I remember it was actually like the lunchtime when I was in school, and I was just browsing through Twitter, and I saw the news, and I was just freaking out. My friends were most likely silently judging me, but
who cares? Who cares?
Yeah. They don't watch the show, so.
No, then they're in the wrong, not you. But yeah, I'm excited for. I hope it is on Christmas Day because I always used to like having sort of leftover bits of dinner and enjoying Doctor Who. And Christmas Day this year is going to be pretty packed because I just found out they're releasing the movie Onward to Disney Plus. So my entire Christmas Day schedule is going to be settled if I've got that and Doctor Who to watch.
And I think they've rescheduled Strictly Come Dancing. I think that's now back on Christmas Day, but it's going to be socially distanced, or it's going to be like a live feed thing. Because they said it was cancelled. Okay. They said it was cancelled, and then I saw somewhere, I don't know if it's official or not, because it was a couple of weeks ago, but apparently it's back on Christmas Day. So depending on the timetable of BBC One on that day, it could stop just before it. Who knows?
Fair enough.
Or maybe
and I'm sure there'll be an episode of Mrs. Brown's Boys as well, because we can't avoid it. It's like death and taxes.
Oh yeah, there's a Christmas special coming for that. Because I don't actually mind the show, because I knew about the news because about 4 years ago the last series aired for it, because then they did the spin-off obviously, which was less good than the actual show in my opinion, which isn't that hard, but still.
Yeah.
But Brendan O'Carroll, who made the show, said that they are going to continue it in Christmas format until December 2020, so this should be the final one. But because the ratings are so good, it's always in like the top 5. It used to be in the top 1. It used to be the top of Christmas, but depending on that, it may be extended 2023, 2024. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe. Well, that's a good example of a digression anyway then. Not hugely Doctor Who related, but did you have any...
It's Christmas related.
It's Christmas related, that's right. Did you have any other news to fill us in on, Will?
No, I don't think there's actually any other Doctor Who news out there. I think that's it.
Same.
I'm excited. That's it.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Dalek series, I was going to say, and I am the fool that said I wasn't going to get involved with the Time Lord Victorious, and then I've actually bought every bit so far.
Well, okay, then here's some news. I just looked at the Twitter page of Doctor Who, and it's the panel today. It's the panel for the Dalek thing.
Oh, awesome. Okay, fair enough.
And of course, yesterday there was an announcement that some of the people that were going to be on the panel, and Joe Sugg, Joe Sugg's YouTuber, if you didn't know, but he's going to be on the panel. So he must be like a voice actor in it, or he may just be there for promo. Who knows?
He may be moderating, but yeah, it's a chance he could be a voice actor.
Can I just say something about the Dalek miniseries?
Go for it.
Just like, I think people are hitting on the animation too much. I really like it.
I like it as well. I like the aesthetic of it, but it does look like, if you compare it to a PlayStation 2 graphic game, I think someone's mentioned this, it does look like a PlayStation 2 game, which is 20 years out of date. But you gotta remember, this isn't the main show, it's just an animation spin-off kind of thing just for the fans. It's not even going to go on the TV, I don't believe. It's just like an Easter egg, so you can expect it to be really, really, really good.
I did see. Sorry, I was just going to say I did see somebody saying you can't really expect, considering we're getting it free on the YouTube channel. We're not going to expect state of the art. But I agree with you, Mario. I think it looks fine. It's nice.
I like it. I like it.
I actually rewatched the 2016 Power of the Daleks animation a couple of weeks ago, which a lot of people like bashing that for the animation being a bit stilted and stuff. And I agree, it is quite stilted. And just from the trailers, I think I prefer the animation for the miniseries than I do for Power of the Daleks. Honestly.
Have you not checked out the Blu-ray re-release of that then?
No, I don't. Even though I'm not the fan of the animation, it's the story which matters, and so I'm just I'm gonna. Plus, I got the steelbook for it, so it's why would I want to replace that? The steelbook's
That's
so
fair
good.
enough. Yeah. Oh, fair
So
enough.
have any of you been keeping up to date with it, as in just like reading the stories?
How do you mean the Time Lord Victoria stuff?
Yeah.
Absolutely
I've-
not.
I've got everything, but I haven't read anything just yet. Other than I would recommend, if you're not picking up everything and you just want little sort of recommendations, the two audios that were the two masters. They're only available digital download, so it's only $4.99. They're around, I think, 40 or 50 minutes each, and it's John Culshaw doing the Delgado and the Ainsley master, and they're good. They're a nice little sort of listen for a decent price, so I recommend those.
The thing is, I don't know if they did this before or after lockdown, because we were always saying, "Oh, there's a gap here. We all hate it," and then they come out with this, and I just thought, did they have this planned, or did they just see the reception and thought, "Let's do something"?
I think they already had it planned because they've had to move a ton of stuff because one of the first things that was supposed to be out was the escape room, but then when COVID happened, they've moved that back to like February, March next year
I saw
when it
quite
was
a
supposed
lot
to already be here.
I saw quite a lot of stick for that, and I thought, why? It looks cool. Maybe a
Yeah,
bit
it looks
crazy,
fine.
but
I think it's just because
like
no one likes London.
it. Maybe.
Maybe. So that's the news section dealt with. Unless you guys have any other breaking news or anything.
I mean,
I think that's it.
I am kind of contemplating whether to get the Big Finish stuff for Time Lord Victorious, but I've only just started listening to it. You know, I've listened to a few of the free ones, the free Big Finish stories
Same,
on
yeah.
Spotify.
Mm.
So, yeah, maybe if I get more into it, I'll pick them up. But
I don't know if I'll be buying the ones that are super expensive. Although I said that with the other stuff and ended up getting it. But for the sake of the $4.99 for kind of 2 50-minute episodes, I think is justifiable. That's a decent price. So.
are we gonna talk about? I haven't seen it yet, but what about Fury from the Deep? That was kind of recent, wasn't it?
I have the Blu-ray on my shelf, but I haven't watched it yet. So maybe
the
we'll talk about it in a
animation,
future podcast.
Yeah, that's the animation. Yeah, I haven't seen that yet. I've wanted to, but I haven't got around to it.
Maybe I'll get round to it sooner. Like, I'm actually rewatching all of Troughton, and I'm gonna watch the instead of watching the animation, I'll watch the loose cannon recon of Fury from the Deep. And if I like the story, I'll get the animation. If I don't care much for it, I'll wait till it comes out later and it's a bit cheaper.
That's
Right.
fair enough. You're a sensible person. I like that.
Yeah. I think we should wrap up the news now because there's nothing else. We need to get through this quickly.
So you're ready to move on to section 2?
Yes.
Yep.
So just to clarify for everyone, this is the Hit or Miss podcast, of course, and we have a section called Hit or Miss where I literally just go through a list of 10 things that some people like, some people don't, and they tell me whether it's a hit or a miss. Hit being good, miss being avoid, unfavorable. And these two do not know what I'm going to be saying, so it's completely spontaneous, and I gave this exact same description in episode 3, so when that eventually comes out, November the 1st, I apologise, don't skip over it, please. Okay.
We'll see how quickly we can get through it.
Okay. William Hartnell's Doctor, which is rather fitting for today's episode, which we won't reveal yet, but William Hartnell's Doctor, hit or miss?
Easy hit.
Just bear with me while I find the best little sound clip.
Oh yeah, just so you know, Mike has got sound clips for his responses.
Okay.
Oh, he did.
Oh, I wasn't expecting. There we go. Here we go.
Not bad at all.
There you go.
I agree. He's not near the top, but he's a competent doctor. I like
Exactly.
him.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I was looking for something vaguely in the middle, but leaning more. No, it's completely contrary to either saying hit or miss. If I had to pick, I'd say hit though. So.
I'd
Yeah,
say
I'll go
hit,
for hit.
because I have no problems with saying that Hartnell has the best character arc of any Doctor.
Fair enough. Okay.
Fair. Yeah, that's absolutely fair. Straight into the next one.
Yeah.
Let's run this straight through it. Spyfall.
Do you want to go first, Mario?
Yeah, hit. Sasha Dowan, I don't know how you pronounce it.
Yeah.
Sasha's master is absolutely brilliant. The companions do suck.
He's
They
excellent.
do the most amount of things they do in series 12. Jodie's really good. I don't care what people say. Spyfall Part 2 is really good. I like the going back in time thing. The Kasavan are really interesting. Lenny Henry's brilliant. Yeah.
Cool.
Second best story in series 12.
Behind what? Out of curiosity.
Fugitive of the Jadoon. Trust me,
Oh.
I've rewatched all of Modern Who quite recently, so they're relatively fresh in my mind.
I'll have to have Fugitive in the hit or miss section next week, because I do not rate it that high, but Spyfall Part 1 is I love it. It's a great episode. But I won't give my score yet. Mike, do you want to give your sound clip?
Yeah, my thoughts on Spyfall.
Fantastic.
There you go.
I really like Spyfall. I think Part 1 is much better than Part 2. Part 2 isn't awful, but it's just...
I don't mind it.
Yeah?
Yeah, when I first watched it, I preferred Part 2 to Part 1, probably just because of the ending. But when rewatching it, I definitely preferred Part 1, I would say. I feel like it, there were a few slower parts in Part 2, I would say.
I love the historical figure stuff that only really happens in Part 2. The stuff with Noah Inaya Khan
that was really
and
clever. I liked it.
But my problem with them was just it started to delve into the Chibnall side cast, having too many.
There were definitely too many, and just throw it out there. In Series 12, in every episode, all the side characters, most of them anyway, entered the TARDIS. Did any of you notice that? Literally every episode. And it just spoils the magic of it, in my opinion.
At least, Nora and the other girl, they lost their memory, so... Yeah.
Well, that was Spyfall, so we got 3 hits, correct?
Yeah.
We're hitting all
3
of these.
hits.
Oh no, hang on, we've only done 2, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, but three of us.
Oh, okay, got you. Yeah.
The Ark in Space.
Oh. Okay, I'm gonna go first on this one.
Go for it.
Absolutely fantastic.
I love that episode.
Likewise.
Puffy. I used to really, really like it.
Oh no.
And I rewatched it like a year ago or something, and it was quite slow, but I'm gonna say hit because Tom Baker.
Yeah, Tom Baker was great.
I can't say enough good things about it. I love everything from the Doctor's speech about the human race being indomitable to the sort of, I know they're really primitive, but the kind of the almost charm that the Wirren effects, so if you can call them effects, have.
Yeah.
And the overall story is just, it's my kind of sci-fi. So yeah, definitely hit.
I love the set design. The set design was great.
Like,
Completely.
I mean, there were some good moments. Like, how did Noah having bubble wrap on his hand? Like, how did they make that creepy?
Good acting, I'd say.
Yeah. Straight to the next one. We're hitting all
next.
of these. I've got a
Cool.
feeling we're just gonna hit all of these.
No worries.
Next one. Amy Pond.
Hit.
Hit.
I mean, besides the kissogram stuff, hit, and that ending and the ending of Flesh and Stone. Get rid of those things. 100% perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll say,
Fantastic.
but with the exact provisos that you just gave, Mario, I don't like the end of, is it Vampires of Venice?
No,
Flesh
Flesh
and
and
Stone.
Stone.
Flesh and Stone, sorry. Do not like that. Don't like quite how obsessive she is in a few moments for the Doctor. But as an overall arc and as a fantastic actress, I've got to come down on the side of hit.
I
Yeah,
think that's
she's
more
like-
so in Series 5, in Series 6 and Series 7. The start of Series 7, she comes into her own, and I think she nails the character. But in Series 5, I can very understand the annoying factor you kind of get with her. She's just clingy. Go for it, Mario.
For me, she's completely perfect from Series 6 onwards. She's probably my second favorite companion besides Donna. I would say, but she's only second favorite because of all the stuff in Series 5.
I liked her in
Yeah.
Series 5, but there were moments that were a bit iffy. And I think it's
Yeah,
worth,
if we're criticising Series 5, though, I would go ahead and say that I think possibly one of her best moments is still Vincent and the Doctor.
Oh, yeah.
So I would definitely have that stand out amongst Series 5, which I don't overall love her character.
and I
The
think it's
ultimate
worth
ginger.
The ultimate ginger. The ultimate ginger. Well, I think it's worth pointing out that Moffat did say that was his biggest regret, the end of Flesh and Stone.
Yeah, that's the thing Moffat should be regretting, not the Beast Below. He should be regretting that.
He did say that, but he said The Beast Below was a mess of an episode, which I kind of disagree
not.
with. I like it. I like The Beast
I
Below.
like it as well. I don't think it's a mess at all. Yeah.
I rewatched it quite recently with the Who Addicts, for the retro reviews, and
Oh,
I
yes,
flipping
yeah.
loved it. So good.
I would rate it. What would you guys rate it? I'd rate it a strong 7.
Eight.
A strong 7, maybe 8. I'll give
I
it
was
an
gonna go 7. I was gonna go exactly 7. Yeah.
7 or 8, yeah, around that region.
I would normally give it a 7, but when rewatching it with the Who Has, I gave it an 8. Yeah.
But yeah, it's not the worst thing Moffat's ever put out. You should be thinking
No,
about Hellbent.
I'm not as hating on that as most people, but we'll get to that, I'm sure.
Well, it's not on today's list, unfortunately.
Oh well.
But we'll get on
Maybe
to it in
another time.
another episode. Yeah. It's not in episode 3 either, so I may put that in episode 2, which we're recording next weekend. Next one, Class.
Never seen it.
Show.
Never seen it, so I can't judge.
Okay.
I have seen it, and I can judge.
Absolutely fantastic.
Yes.
I loved it.
Yes. I don't understand why some people don't like it. It's different tastes, obviously, but it's a spin-off show. It's not Doctor Who. Torchwood Series 2 onwards was great, right? But I think most people would agree, well, it's better than Series 1 of Torchwood, right?
I personally, I think Series 1 to 3 of Torchwood are great, and I can't stand Series 4. So,
Okay, then.
Miracle Day, way too American for my liking.
Yep.
Oh, Miracle Day will be on this list, episode 2, I guess, again, so just keep watching.
enough.
But I do like Miracle Day, but the point I'm trying to make is Series 2 and Series 3, in my opinion, are better than Series 1. Now,
I do agree with that.
yeah, if you follow that through into the same logic into Class did not have time to shine, because they only had one series of 5 episodes. Even Sarah Jane Adventures had more episodes than that, and that's a kid's show.
Yeah, I don't think Class. I don't understand why it gets a bad rap, because I like so much of what they actually gave us. I love, is it the Karakanus, the weird sort of lava stone guys?
Was that the big
I
villain?
think they're the main villain overall for the series. I think they're some of the best villains any of the Doctor Who or spin-offs has given. I really love them. I love the idea of them being linked to April, specifically by that, you know, not wanting to spoil too much, but she was fantastic.
She was great.
For me, the reason I didn't want to watch it is just because it didn't feel like Doctor Who. Like, Torchwood has Jack, Sarah Jane Adventures has Sarah Jane. I feel like for me to want to get into it, it needed to have a character which I cared about beforehand.
The first episode has Pierre Capaldi's Doctor in.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Yep.
If I find a way to watch it,
And
free.
It's on Netflix.
And may I add, I think that was the weakest moment of the episode when Capaldi came in. I thought by that point they were already established and they didn't need that like the caretaker, the grandfather kind of character to you know, like in Deep Breath, Matt Smith had a cameo at the end to reassure the viewers. While I think that was a great scene and was needed, I don't think it worked with Capaldi in episode 1, because by then I liked the episode, I liked the characters, and I thought he doesn't need to be here.
I wanted that moment because when I watched it, like, Series 8 was the first series I completely watched live and stuff. And, you know, I was used to Matt Smith being like this young, dashing, happy, funny doctor. And just going to Peter Capaldi, who was, you know, older and a bit more like, you know, stubborn and rebellious and stuff. It was kind of off-putting. I wasn't the biggest fan of episode 1, but it was nice to have that phone call. I've rewatched Deep Breath and I absolutely love it now, but back then I didn't really like it.
If I could bring it back to Class for a second, though. Yeah, I would say, Mario, if your sort of your trepidation is in case there's not a sort of a character that you know, I think at least 2 or 3 of the characters in Class are good enough to hold their own amongst any sort of Doctor Who characters, and you will get to know and love them like immediately. I like the Capaldi scene because there's a couple of well-written lines, but I think Sophie Hopkins, who plays April, and especially Catherine Kelly, who plays, will help me out, character name. What's her name? Miss Quill. As I was saying, yeah, Mario, if you do get a chance, I think Class is only 10 sort of 45-minute episodes, and they're all on Netflix and possibly iPlayer, I'm not sure. But they're well worth a watch.
I'll give it a go at some point. I'll let you know.
Yeah, as I was saying, yeah, I think some of the characters in Class are fantastic. I think it may appeal more if you're younger, but which is weird because I'm an old fogey. But yeah, the school stuff and the fact that there's a kind of a representation for everyone. There's LGBT characters, there's black characters, and like I said, there's a really cool 3-dimensional character in Miss Quill who's a sort of villainous character who's forced to interact with the heroes and not harm them from ways I won't necessarily spoil, but
Yeah,
she is so good.
Maybe we should review like an episode from each spin-off. Sarah Jane, Torchwood, Class. I know we've already got a list of set episodes, but we could just change them around.
We can change one, certainly, yeah, because I think they're all sort of single short episodes as well, so if you like, yeah.
It just saves us talking about it now and just spoiling it for everyone.
Yeah.
Considering he's never watched it.
Yeah, I was trying to not get into much beyond the pilot episode, but
definitely watch it.
lots to love.
It's very good.
Out of curiosity, though, just going by sort of title or vague description, Will, do you have a favourite episode of Class?
Right, I'll have to search the Wikipedia up.
I'll go first then and say that my favourite episode, I love Co-Owner of a Lonely Heart is a close second, but my favourite episode is The Metaphysical Engine, or What Quill Did, which is fantastic.
I think my favourite would be, even though it's not objectively, I know it's not the best episode, but it's my favourite, and I like how it was shot. Detained.
Oh, okay, right.
By Patrick Ness. Well, he wrote every episode, actually.
Yeah, I think he was the creator of the idea, wasn't he, of Class?
Did you see the ideas he had for the next series? We were going to see the Weeping Angels' home planet, which I wouldn't have wanted to see, but it's a big idea anyway.
It is. I haven't looked at anything like that because I think I'm still kind of harbouring hope that it'll get that we might get to hear some of them on Big Finish or see comics or something maybe. So I didn't want to spoil them.
I think one of the actors, the male one, or the alien one, he made a controversial tweet during Series 11, and he says this is like crap. And then everyone just turned on him, like, how could you say this? And then he was saying it's just shallow, it's just, there's no story. And then everyone ripped into him, and they were like, that's what Class was, though. And I thought,
Well, he's not wrong, though. Series 11 was shallow.
Yeah, well, actually, Mike likes Series 11, so...
I don't like all of it, just to clarify. I think there's maybe 3 great episodes, 3 average episodes, and the rest are complete dog poop.
I'd actually agree with that. I think there's 2 or 3 very good ones.
I rewatched it recently. Like I said, I rewatched Modern Who quite recently, and I have grown it. I've enjoyed episodes like the Ghost Monument, and I've actually improved on Arachnids in the UK. Funnily enough,
the thing is, Arachnids in the UK isn't a bad episode. It's just the ending that lets it down. In my opinion.
but at the same time, there were some episodes of in the opposite direction. Like I hate the Saranga Conundrum or Demons on the Punjab. I've realised how overrated Demons of the Punjab is because like the first half is really slow.
I talked about how much I liked it in episode 3, so the spoiler for a future episode, but keep an eye out for that. But I do really enjoy that episode.
And I've realised on the rewatch that I prefer Kablam to Rosa.
I agree.
And
I'd have to rewatch, but I can see where you're coming from.
And Resolution's overrated.
Blasphemy.
No, I agree. The thing is, I wouldn't say it's like amazingly rated. I think it's good. I think people think it's good, but I don't see many people saying greatest thing ever. So I wouldn't say it's overrated in that respect. I think it's fairly rated as a good episode.
Isn't Resolution technically part of Series 12 because it's on that box set?
The thing is, I don't.
I'd rather Resolution was the finale for Series 11 compared to the Battle of the Battle of Rice and Beans.
Battle of Rancid Acid.
I hated that one on rewatch.
I love the meme.
So boring. Same with It Takes You Away. I hated that one on rewatch.
It Takes You
We've
Away.
already addressed that as well on a future episode.
But I really don't like It Takes You Away.
We'll just talk about something else then.
Just to clarify, I was not the one who started Series 11 tangent, okay? Because I've got a feeling in every single podcast we're going to bring up Series 11 just as like a punching bag, just like, this is awful, we can't do this.
Not from me.
Yeah, but I don't want people to say, oh, this guy's so negative about Series 11. I'm not. I quite like quite a few of the episodes, but...
Oh, you agreed with me. There's 3 great episodes, 3 average, and the rest are under average or below par. So.
Yeah, 3 great episodes for me: Woman Who Fell to Earth, Rosa, and Kablam.
And we had
wouldn't be my 3, but okay.
I don't know how you're gonna adapt this one. Fear Her.
Myth. I hate child actors and Doctor Who suck.
I
Especially
think
this
child
one.
actors just suck in general because they do, at that point they don't have training, or they have
Yeah,
very
I mean-
limited training.
I don't think the actress who played Chloe is the worst child actress. I think the worst child actress is the actresses who played what was it? Angie from Nightmare in Silver and Ruby from In the Forest of the Shite.
Yes. Well, have you got a tangent here, but I'll only cover it for a brief minute. Have you guys watched the Alien franchise?
I've
Yeah.
seen. Yeah, I have. I
Okay.
actually like Alien Covenant.
In
I'm
this,
gonna run on hype.
I do. I watched the full film and I thought, why is this rated so lowly on Sky Cinemas? It's only a 2-star. I'd rate it a 4-star, 4.5. But whatever. The point I'm trying to make is in the second episode, the little girl Newt.
Oh yeah.
She was a good child actress.
Yes.
So they do exist. Good child actors.
Yeah. For me, the only good child actress in Doctor Who is young Amelia. All the
If,
others are very good.
Yeah, if you're looking for good examples of really good child actresses, if you're into horror, then I recommend Hill House, where all the child actors in that are fantastic.
I'd also say Finn
We
Ice for an
watched
example of
the
Doctor Who.
It films for the first time.
I haven't seen them yet.
Yeah, but I watched the It films for the first time quite recently, and the child actors in specifically Chapter 1 are brilliant. I think they're really good. You know,
Fair
they
enough.
had yeah.
Back to Fear Her.
Go,
Back to
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
you
going
didn't
back
say your
to going back to Fear Her, I will say before I see anything that I do think it's maybe slightly overhated, but overall, my opinion,
I love
Doctor
this.
Who
I
Poop
love
did it
George
better.
Clips.
Yeah, Doctor Who Poop did it better.
Yeah.
Oh,
fair enough.
Doctor Who could make everything better.
Blink.
Do you know that the video they made of the woman who fell to Earth, Ryan Sinclair, Don't You Dare? They made that into a song.
I didn't know.
No, you've got to watch that. It's great. It was very funny.
Later.
Yeah, but they make it into like a pop song, like an 80s pop song. And it's very funny. So just to clarify, Fear Her, 3 misses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's the change. We all said hits for all the other ones.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't say anything for class.
True.
Okay, then technically we haven't missed one except from Fear Her. So, in episode 3, it's very hit and miss. It's like a variety of both. I don't think I chose that controversial picks today, but here's the last 4. Bow ties.
Pardon?
Bow ties.
Not miss. Sorry. Hit.
Hit. Bow ties are cool.
Yes.
Did you hang on a second? You've stepped on my sound clip. Just bear with me a sec.
Those guys are cool.
You have that
Yeah.
prepared. Hey.
Yep.
Why did you have that prepared? How did you know that was going to come up?
Because I've got a Doctor Who soundboard and it's like the top result for 11th Doctor, obviously.
Oh right, it's sampled. I thought you actually downloaded the clips and then it can't.
No.
If I was doing it, I'd have to go onto iPlayer and find an episode.
Yeah, that makes
But,
a lot of
yeah,
sense.
bow ties are cool.
Yeah, bow ties are very cool. Okay, Peter Capaldi's Doctor.
Hit.
Hit.
Entirely for heaven. It's not entirely for heaven's sake.
Yeah, I only chose this because of Mike's opinion in episode 3. He went in. Not
Well,
not in, but
you may be surprised that overall I would say
Fantastic.
Yes.
would you say he's fantastic though?
overall yes. I don't love the portrayal of the character in series 8.
Right.
Because I think I get what Moffat was trying to do in kind of making him not immediately sort of lovable or someone that you can glob onto, and that's a bit of sort of Hartnell or Colin Baker in that. But I don't like that. I'm not a fan. I like the Doctor to be the hero, and I like the idea of that. You know, he should always be at least likable and
I
more
agree with
heroic.
that, but there's stories that center around that, like Listen. I think that adds to the intensity, the Doctor being dark, miserable. But then I actually found a connection between it yesterday, like a parallel. And for the Doctor to be happy, Clara had to be gone. Because
Series 10 is amazing.
yeah, so Clara
Like,
dying must have flipped the switch because in going back to Deep Breath, he says, "Clara, I'm not your boyfriend." So obviously there he wasn't happy of what his past actions in this 11th incarnation. So I had to change just for her. And then when she was gone, He's happy again. He's series 11. He's series.
All Clara's fault
6 happy.
again.
The thing is, I like Clara. I really like Clara.
I don't agree with your assessment on that one. Sorry to put in, because for me, I think the turning point for Capaldi's Doctor, I can pinpoint exactly to last Christmas. And Cara still had a full season left at that point. I think he's perfectly fine throughout Series 9 as well, but last Christmas is the first time he shows real joy and kind of exuberance about being the Doctor. And I personally think the turning point wasn't losing Clara. I think it was almost losing her tragically and then realising that he still had her to travel with, kind of thing, in Last Christmas.
Yeah.
I'd say his Doctor did the complete 180 as soon as he got a chance to ride on Santa's sleigh.
I agree.
Yeah, fair point. I'd love to do that.
Yeah. So final 2 points. Amy's choice. If any of you hit, if any of you say miss, I will end the podcast now and we will not upload a single episode. Please say hit. Please say hit.
All right, hit. If not entirely for that one scene where the Doctor's like running and he's about to fall asleep and it's like that's so memeish, like me on a Wednesday night.
No, but that scene is so intense. I absolutely love that scene. The music, the acting, the Toby Jones speaking into the Doctor's ear. I love that scene.
Oh, the Dream Lord, he's amazing.
The Dream Lord's great.
I don't know whether he should return. I'd rather the meddling monk returned.
In my article for the Universe of Who website, I don't know if you've read my articles, but I actually mentioned how I'd love Toby Jones to return as the Dream Lord, but I think that would take away from the excellence of the first episode, because I think he would be a very good one-time villain. Though I would want to see more.
I think it was a good twist at the end that both the realms were dreams and stuff. I think that was a good twist.
And then the thing is, the jarring thing about that is it's meant to be the exact opposite of the Doctor, and it's got to be there's got to be the thoughts in his head. So I thought, why did Amy not question the Doctor about his thoughts about her? Because the Dream Lord had very awful thoughts about Amy and Rory. So why didn't they show concern? And I thought that was just very odd.
I will say just give me a second. I had it in my brain and I forgot.
Mike, do you have your sound clip?
I do, and Will, I've only got one thing to say.
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
It's a miss.
Oh yeah, I remember what I was gonna say.
He's left.
That made me briefly mad.
I remember what I was gonna say. I really like Amy's choice because Rory does a Thanos. You can do the Thanos meme.
Oh, okay.
You remember he gets dusted.
Yes, yeah. I can see all of your positive sides of things, and I'm not going to completely dump on Amy's choice, but for me, it just doesn't come together well enough and doesn't really work.
Oh, man.
I don't like stories that take place predominantly where there's no stakes and it's revealed. I despise the "it was all a dream" ending in any kind of media, because it's so cheap.
Yeah, that is the point.
I know that's the point, but it still doesn't change the fact that it's so cheap, and it means that you've wasted 45 minutes.
Well, I was considering, considering we have a lot to say about it, I thought maybe we should make this into like an episode review, but we've got about 5 Matt Smith episodes coming up this series.
Jeez.
So far, like 5 out of the 12 episodes are going to be Smith related.
Yeah, we know who your favourite Doctor is, well.
No, but the thing is, I didn't even recommend most of those. You mentioned it, but then Xander wanted to do A Christmas Carol, and I wanted to do what do you call it, The Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe. So there's 2 already.
Oh God, the Doctor, the Widow, and the Wardrobe.
Yeah, that's the
more examples of bad child acting.
Oh yeah. Well, I didn't mind them. It was just the tone of the story. It was a bit silly, but we'll come to that in episode 11.
Yeah.
But I do not understand why I was going to go on to there. Oh yeah, I wanted to do an Amy Choice review after this, but because we have so many Smith reviews, I don't want to. So let's just give our rating for the episode now. I'm very interested. I'm sure everyone else is interested listening. So if we go for the guest first.
All right. I give it a 7 out of 10. I would say. Which is a good rating in my eyes. 6 out of 10.
I'll give it a 10 out of 10. It's great. I love it.
I would give it a 4 out of 10. Sorry. Will just keeps dropping out. He's appalled at me. So anyway, this has been my last episode of the podcast, everyone. Take care.
We'll make that an ongoing joke now. Make that an ongoing joke. Well, the final one, it's very Moffat era centric today, actually, ironically. And the final one is The Silence.
Silence.
Oh.
Hit.
Hit. If he gives it this here, I'm going to be fuming.
No, I'm. Just bear with me 1 second here.
I wish my Series 6 Steelbook was around here somewhere so I could just stroke it.
There we go. Here.
Not bad at all.
Which, to clarify, I would say absolutely hit, with the only proviso being that we didn't see enough of them or explore them well enough. In my opinion, they were kind of used for sort of, ooh, this is a cool concept. We'll chuck them in the background and it'll be an easy scare or an easy bit of reference. But
I think they nailed it in Day of the Moon. Day of the Moon.
Yeah, Day of the Moon is one of my favourite stories. It's
Day of the Moon
so good.
isn't as good as The Impossible Astronaut because
I think it's
both
the other way
are very good. Both are very good. But the point is, it's very psychological horror, but it's also there's physical elements to it because you can see him, and then you have the lines on Amy's face, and I just thought,
that is creepy. Like the scene in Day of the Moon where it's like they're in the TARDIS and I forgot his name. American dude, has the thing on his hand and starts flashing. Yeah, thank you. He has a thing on his hand, and it's like, you realise there was a silence in the tires, and it's the one from, Amy took a picture of on her phone.
Yeah.
I completely agree with everything you guys are saying, but can you name any memorable scene with them in The Wedding of River Song or The Time of the Doctor?
When they broke the glass, that freaked me out.
And
like,
when they burst through the door, and then they were shot. That was epic.
And also when the fact that they used the eye patches things against them, I thought that was really clever of them. And Wedding of River Song gets too much hate.
I agree. I don't think it was a bad episode.
Also, I just realised I missed the opportunity for a joke. When you said The Silence, I should have said, who were they?
Oh, we all should have.
Yes. Yeah, but the thing is, I have a soft spot for Series 6. I love that series.
Yes,
and
me too.
I don't know what Mike's going to say, but I have a soft spot. I like Let's Kill Hitler.
Yes.
I like that, yeah.
Really?
Overall...
I don't know what you guys are going to say to this, but the only stories, I should say, that I don't like from Series 6 is the Gang of Two-parter.
No.
The Gang of Two.
That's so
I
underrated.
hate that one.
Why does everyone hate it? No, it's not. It's clever. It's slow.
I don't hate it. Just to clarify, I didn't get into my thoughts, but you might like what I'm going to say about Series 6, or you might not in that case, Will. But I think the first half is fantastic, the second half is not.
I like Night Terrors. I like the God Complex. In fact, sorry, let me rephrase that. I love the God Complex. I like the Wedding of River Song. I like Let's Kill Hitler. What else? Closing Time. I like the bits with Craig. The side mention have been in it, but I do still like it. Girl Who Waited, controversial opinion. I think it's overrated.
Mario, briefly,
yeah.
Do you think Rita should have been a full-time companion, or should she have been a companion into Closing Time? Do you think that would have been better? They touched upon it in episode 3. Would you, yes or no, have liked Rita as a one-time companion in one episode in Closing Time?
I liked her. I feel like she fit in the God Complex. It's going to sound weird, but I think she shouldn't have died and then made a bit of a comeback in either like the Wedding River Song or in Series 7 or something. Kind of like in the RTD era.
Agreed.
Era, where Harriet Jones, she came back in Series 4 and stuff. I'd say.
Completely agree. I understand why she's not going to be there for the next couple of episodes in Series 6, but considering that the Doctor kind of drops the pawns off, you could easily have him picking up Rita and travelling with her in The Doctor, The Widow and the Wardrobe.
She would have made so much more sense in Dinosaurs on a Spaceship than just a generic ranger guy and a queen or something. She would have been good in Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. That would have been a perfect place to put her if you made her survive.
So, are we all agreeing that Series 6 is the absolute best series of Doctor Who ever?
It's not the best. It's not the best. The Gang of Two-Part elected.
Go on again.
That's the final time we're doing that.
I don't like
I'm sure it's an ongoing gag that everyone's annoyed off by now.
It has risen in my ranking. It was already near the top, but it has risen in my rankings because it's the only series I have the steelbook for.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I got it recently. It was, good price, about £28. I thought, sod it, I'll get it.
Well, guys, I think we should.
Yeah,
wrap
I'm
that
a little
there.
bit overly harsh on the second half, but I do think the second half only has maybe 2 episodes. I think are really like hits. And
Your sound
I
is
think Will has
going
kind
up.
of
Your sound is going
ran
off
out
the
once too
charts.
many times and may have knocked himself.
Oh my god, your audio's really
Your
bad.
audio is really bad right now.
Is it? Oh, sorry.
I think you're talking too close, maybe.
Oh, okay, cool. Will there?
And
It's
again,
it's like all fuzzy and stuff.
yeah.
I'll drop out and come back in
Okay.
because I can't hear Will either.
My ears hurt
Okay.
now.
Typical, right when we're about to start talking about this story.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Oh,
I can hear you now.
Okay. Mute, and then unmute myself. There we go. But now I've messed around with my microphone, so now I don't know the audio levels, which mean I could sound absolutely bombastic during the second half. But it is what it is.
You sound quite low to my headphones at the moment, so you may want to turn it up a bit.
same.
Okay, is that better?
A little bit, maybe a bit higher.
How about now?
Good enough.
That's perfect.
Good enough.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, I think that's that was the last hit or miss. Yeah.
That was the last hit or miss.
Nice.
So are we ready to move on to the episode review?
We are.
Wait, what was the last one again? I can't remember what it was.
Silence.
Series 6.
Yeah, so the silence
What,
series
what are
6.
the silence? What are the silence?
Oh man.
You got us. Well done. Well done.
Yay!
Oh no, you played us. No, I just realised. Yeah,
Come on, Will. That was a bit slow.
I can only clap you for that. You actually got me there.
Oh, bless.
Well, I think we should just go on to the episode review. We're 55 minutes in.
Oh,
After editing, it'll probably be about 52. And we've got Beat the Chase pilot recording after this in an hour. So I think we should just get on with the episode review, which today
Right,
Will.
was
got my notes.
An Unearthly Child.
Yes.
It was the very first episode.
Yeah. So, what do you guys have to say about it? Like the overall summary thoughts, without saying the overall summary, which you'll give at the end, including your rating. So just like a log
quick
line,
summary.
a quick summary. Just get your thoughts out
Oh,
there, and
so
then
a
we'll
quick summary-
spin off from there.
So, a quick summary of just what we think.
Yeah. Well, not everything, just like your general thoughts.
Yeah.
And then we'll just
First-
adapt the conversation to fit whatever you say.
Alright. First part, amazing. Last 3 parts, boring.
I think that's a common opinion. Yeah, to try to keep it nice and vague, I would say there's some good mystery. You cannot overrate the first part for its importance and everything that it does. There's some nice lines, but overall, it is, to be very generous, at least a mixed bag.
Well, in my opinion, it was a terrific establishing episode to start it all off. It gave us a history lesson, which I appreciated, but there was only so much they could actually do, and it sort of fell flat. It did fall flat, but I appreciate what they were trying to do. Excluding excluding the Doctor, the trio was good. That's a bit spoilery for the review, but whatever. But it was a tad overacted at times, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I wrote that one of the characters was OTT in this.
Yeah,
My notes.
but it was.
I have
was-
issues about other things, but we'll get to it.
There was some. The final line of my summary, which was actually intended for the end, but I'll just say it now. There's a lot of potential to be sought after. There's a lot of potential.
Oh,
there.
completely, yeah.
And of course, the potential was fulfilled. But as a first episode, you could definitely see that this could be a very good show.
Yeah.
One of the things, okay, I'll chuck this out there. It was one of the last lines I've got on my review, but I'll just throw it out there and see what you guys think. I personally think you could skip straight from episode 1 to the Daleks and lose nothing. Would you agree?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Maybe, yeah.
But I appreciate the story, the history lesson they were trying to give. I
Yeah, but it's terrible history. It's not remotely
didn't learn
scientifically
anything.
accurate.
I learned that cavemen were annoying. That's what I
Mm.
learned.
Yeah.
So fire was created. They didn't give a specific year. I mean, people always say 100,000 BC, but I don't know if that's when fire
Yeah,
was
because
created.
the scanner wasn't working, right? So it just said 0. It's like 0 AD BC.
It wasn't 0. That's like what? Yeah, it definitely wasn't 0.
It
That was
wasn't,
like,
no.
Neolithic. This is obviously Paleolithic.
Mm.
Paleolithic? Yeah.
Mm.
I put down that I always like to consider this to be 2 separate stories. First part on its own as an unearthly child, and then the last 3 parts as its own separate story, 100,000 BC, like a 3-part.
So, in which case, if you'll indulge me, I hope you don't mind, Will. Just for the sake of it, if you had to give a rating out of 10 for just episode 1, for just an unearthly child, and I think I know how this is going to go, what would you give it?
A lot of people like decimal point scores, which I don't. I don't mind it, but
No.
I tend to rate up, to round it up. So I would normally give this episode a 4.5, but rounding it up, I'd say it's a 5. But it's not perfect.
But I'm talking about just episode 1, though, just the unearthly child.
Yeah, just episode
You'd
1.
You'd give that a 5 out of 10?
No, I'd give that a 4.5 out of 5, which would be a 9.
Oh, okay.
But to
9 out of 10.
to round it up, it would be a 10. But it's a 9. It's a 9. It's a 9 out of 10.
Okay. And you, Mario?
Just the first part, I simply give it a 9 out of 10. It's amazing. I always enjoy it whenever I rewatch it. I never get bored. I never need to check the like how long's left, which is an important thing for me. If I need to check how long's left, it's not grabbing me. I never have to for this story, whilst I did for the other 3 parts.
Yeah, Mike's back. Hello.
Hello, sorry about that. I didn't hear, so yeah, Mario, what did you give just episode 1 out of 10 then?
9 out of 10.
I would go an easy 10 personally, but okay.
Oh, there we
I
go.
think-
When I said 10 out of 10, you were like, really? And then I got...
No, I thought you said 5 out of 10, and I was like, for just the pilot? That doesn't make sense to me.
No. I want to say 5 out of 5, then 10 out of 10. It is very good.
The reason
Got you,
I'm only
okay.
giving it a 9 and not a 10 is just simply because, not much happens. It's just mostly exposition and stuff. Like, if there was a bit more action...
I disagree.
I'll
It's
counteract that though and say,
I
yeah,
mean-
I'll say that, Mario, what you have to remember, and I know it's difficult to do, is that these were
Yeah.
the first times any of these concepts had been heard. So if
I
you
know.
imagine seeing it for the first time in '63 with no concept of a time travel show or what the TARDIS is or who the Doctor is as an alien or all of these things, I mean, it wouldn't still be here
I think
50, nearly 60 years
I think
later.
the first part should have been like a bit longer. Like if they were able to get it to be a bit longer, I think that would have definitely benefited. Like just like an extra
Well-
5 minutes to do something a bit more.
I think
I
it was
do
it's
think-
perfect. I think...
I do,
Yeah, go for it.
yeah, sorry. I do think that I remember reading... Sorry, go ahead, Mario. Sorry, I'm talking over you.
Also, kind of what let's see, yeah. She's not as annoying as in the other parts, but Susan is kind of annoying. And I also wrote here that Ian and Barbara are straight up stalkers.
Yes, that's true.
It's just
yeah.
a bit, yeah.
As I was going to say, though, I see what you're saying, and I do think they should have spent more time in 1963 rather than going straight to whatever it is, BC.
It was a whole
and
episode. It was a whole episode dedicated to that time zone. And it wasn't
Yeah.
as though they didn't go back to that time zone, because they did in their stories and later in the show.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, I read that, this was a kind of a late replacement, and originally the episode was supposed to be a version of what later became Planet of the Giants, where they would be,
Oh yeah, I heard
you know,
about that.
Right.
all 4 parts would be in 1963 in Coal Hill School, which would give you a lot more chance to set up,
Oh,
who
that would've been
Susan
so
is
much
and
better. That'd be
exactly, yeah.
kinda dull, but imagine them doing it in a school, just having to avoid all the students just running by. That would have been so much fun.
Yeah, in the science labs and everything, yeah.
I was just thinking about the writer, and I thought, how privileged must you be to write the first ever episode of the show? That must have been so
Yeah.
That one, no, sorry, that wasn't him. It was someone else. Sacha Baron Cohen played him in an adventure.
It was the writer of the first episode is listed as being Anthony Coburn.
Oh, yeah.
But there's apparently there's an argument that C.E. Weber may have written parts of it as well.
Yeah.
But the character that you're thinking of that Sacha Dhawan played was the director Waris Hussein.
In Adventure in Time and Space, yeah, I've seen that. That was great.
Okay.
I love that.
Yeah,
That was excellent.
best Mark Gatiss thing, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I-
definitely.
I wrote this down because I was kind of shocked when I was watching this, but when Barbara was going to give Susan a book on the French Revolution, Susan was listening to some music, and she said it was by, get this, John Smith.
Yep. John Smith and the Common Men. It's a hugely famous line from the pilot.
John Smith. Did the
Yep.
Doctor get his nickname from them?
I think so. Must be. It must just be like an Easter egg, I suppose.
There's a lot of, without getting into it, there's a lot of Big Finish stuff that deals with John Smith and the Common Men, who aren't a real band, and kind of addresses that. So
That sounds weird.
Well, I to go for that first scene, I liked the subtle humor when the Doctor diverts the attention from the box, and when he says, "I wonder why I haven't seen this before." The way he delivered that line, I thought it's not like laugh out loud funny, but I thought it put a smile on my face because I thought this is the Doctor. He's charming. He's the same Doctor that's in the modern series, for example.
Yeah.
You can see the parallels.
This episode did have a lot of charm and humor, like
Charm, that's the word.
especially between Ian and Barbara. I remember like some of their lines just gave me a chuckle. Like just like Ian was just Barbara's like, I'm giving Susan a book on the French Revolution, and he was like, oh, what's she gonna do? Rewrite it? And it's just like little exchanges like that. Just made me
Yeah.
laugh.
Just to sort of piggyback off that as well, and again, this is a nerdy little fact, but I do think I completely agree with you, and I'm pleased that they didn't go with the original idea, because in the original script, Ian was a complete a-hole. He basically comes in and trashes the teacher's lounge because he's had a bad day, and Barbara's like, oh, you've got to stop losing your temper or whatever, and it's kind of like, I don't know where they were coming from with that. But
Ian's the best. Ian's the best original companion. I would say, like tied with Stephen Taylor with my favorite First Doctor companion. I would say.
I just want to bring that up. He was great. William Russell,
Yes.
I think his name is. I think he was.
It is, yeah.
I think he was more like the Doctor than the Doctor.
Yeah, I
Yes.
Not so in episode 1, obviously, but in episode 2, 3, and 4, William Hartnell kind of goes into the background, and by episode 3, he's pretty much non-existent. And you'd think William Russell was the Doctor, and I think he played a blinder.
I remember I wrote this for episode 3 actually, and I said Ian's definitely the best.
Yeah, in my opinion.
Also,
I agree, and I see that you can see that the Doctor was supposed to be the big alien enigma, and the hero, as it were, of the story was supposed to be Ian. He was the guy that you were following, this sort of
you
dashing
can tell the
Hollywood
Doctor
type.
was the anti-hero.
Yeah.
I just love how I wrote down just Savage Hartnell all in caps.
I was more kind, but yeah, if we're getting onto that, I've just put that the Doctor is incredibly inconsistent, because he goes from being really callous and wanting to sort of ignore an injured man or leave Ian and Barbara behind, and then that hugely infamous scene where it looks like he's going to brain a caveman with a rock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah. But then in episode 4, when Carl is murdered, he acts like all appalled, and it's like, dude, 1 episode ago you almost just brained a guy.
It's because
I think
he
it
has
was just
something
to get
against
him out.
Tsar.
Yeah, and I think it was
He
just
has
to get
something
him out of
against
that
Tsar.
position.
He likes Carl, he just doesn't like Tsar, so that's why he wanted to kill Tsar. But
To be fair, they look so similar, and when the fight scene came on in episode 4, I was like, who the hell is who? I thought,
Oh yeah,
I can't tell the difference.
I think it was Tsar who survived and Carl who died.
Yeah,
I
Yeah, it
literally
was,
had to go into the credits to make sure who
because
everyone
Carl
was.
was ambushed out of the cave, wasn't he? And then he
Yeah,
came back, and then that
They
was the fight
threw
scene.
rocks and stuff.
I literally
Also-
only remember Carl's name because it's spelled Kal, and it just makes me think of Superman. So that's the only reason I remember it.
But I just gotta say, about like Hartnell, being a jerk in this. Like I say he's, not very nice in the first 3 parts, and it always. This is coming from someone who's seen all the Hartnell stories, including the missing ones. It always annoys me when I read an article and they do the rankings for the Doctor and put Hartnell low and say that, he's just a grumpy old man and stuff. It's like, it's clear you've only seen the first 3 parts. That's why I'm saying he has the best character arc. He starts off as a jerk before going through the entire era, becoming more and more better, and that final speech to the Cybermen where he's like, love, pride, hate, fear. Have you no
Well,
idea
it's
Like
it's been nice knowing you guys, but yeah, when episode 3 comes out, Mario, it was lovely getting to know you. But I'm gonna you're not gonna like my opinion of Hartnell, shall we say?
Yeah,
I was saying,
I liked Tunnel.
I think-
He was fine.
I just say that final line to the Simon Says Planet just like pushes him over and
That is
makes him
excellent.
the Doctor we know and love. And
Yes.
and it's like fitting how he just regenerates straight to Troughton, who's my favorite classic
The
Doctor.
thing is, he wouldn't be near the top of my list, but like that, he wouldn't be near like right at the bottom.
Yeah, I think I find him too inconsistent episode to episode, but I agree with you that arguably my favourite episode of any of the Hartnell era is The 10th Planet, and that speech in particular is just beautiful. So I completely agree with you.
Yeah. I don't agree with Joss Nair saying he's the best Doctor, though.
No.
He's
Charlton's
not the
better.
best.
He may be the most important or the most influential, I would say that, but not the best.
Oh,
He
his,
didn't
he,
deserve-
like I said, the parallels of his character are carried over into Modern Who, so you can clearly see where the writers and the actors are inspired by his incarnation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but Hartnell didn't deserve more votes on the that poll recently. Like, why was Troughton at 10th?
But the thing is, I think it's because most of the classic Who Doctors only had 1 or 2%, and then it was all the modern era, and you've got to remember, not all the old people, not the old people, just the people that watched the original series, they not all of them are online, and not all of them are alive anymore. A lot of them went on, because it was 50 years ago, let's just say, and not everyone over 50, not many people know how to work a phone, not many people are on Twitter. And also, I think it's worth pointing out quickly that fans were using Incognito mode to vote multiple times, and then I think Whittaker was out in the lead at one point, but then everyone was like, "No, this can't happen," and then everyone just started, or like the David Tennant fans, or the Matt Smith fans, they got all their social groups to vote, and that's why the classic Who Doctors were so low. Because there was the fight between the best modern Who Doctor. So I think the best way to sell it would be to do a classic Who
Yes, I was about to say
poll,
that.
and then a modern Who rival poll, and put the two winners together, and then I think that would be more fair.
I don't agree, but I think the reason why, and this is kind of part of what's problematic about fandom in general, but Doctor Who right now, I think Hartnell's always going to get more votes at the moment, because there's way too many people who are like, no, Hartnell was the first. You can't just retcon that Chibnall. Hartnell, we all love him. And it's not because they particularly like that character, it's because they dislike the Timeless Children arc. So I think it's kind of disingenuous that they're like, no, he's the first, so we'll vote him so that we can show we love him, kind of thing.
Yeah, I couldn't be asked to vote in that poll. Tennant, if you're wondering, Tennant is my favorite Doctor. I know that's a common opinion,
same.
whatever, but Tennant is my boy. Favorite classic Doctor is Troughton.
I'll confess to voting for Matt Smith about 10 times.
I didn't even see how to vote, to be honest, but I knew what was going to happen, and it would just evolve into a fan war.
You just had to go to a website, and then you clicked it, and then it showed you the percentage after you voted. And then all you had to do was go on Incognito mode. Unearthly Child, yeah. Another Series 11 tangent. Oh god. Please don't butcher me.
That was Series 12 more, but okay.
Yeah.
You know how I mentioned about the whole the John Smith thing in part 1? I put this in part 3, and the Doctor says Fear makes companions out of all of us.
Yes.
He got that from Clara.
He did.
He must have gotten that from Clara in Listen.
Yep.
It's like,
That was the
Moffat.
point, yeah.
The attention, people bash on Moffat, but that was brilliant. That put a great big smile on my face.
I did. I
Moffat,
thought,
you
oh my god,
genius.
how the reference in Easter egg, and I thought,
just like the you know how Osgood's like a character called Osgood appeared in like a Pertwee story. It's like
In Unit, yeah.
Yeah, that's like modern Osgood's dad.
and of course Kate Stewart. We all know about Kate Stewart.
Yeah. That one was more obvious. Like,
Yeah.
You know, it didn't take someone like Moffat to pull that one off. I could have pulled that one off.
Since we're talking about the parallels, I think did you guys know that Moffat was inspired by Billy Piper, Rose Tyler, to name Bill Potts?
Oh, no, I didn't, but that makes sense.
I think it was either RTD or Tennant I think it was Tennant actually, who used to call Billy Piper Bill. And it must have been on the Day of the Doctor set, because that's the year he was inspired by to get the note down that Bill Potts' future companion. And obviously on that experience, he thought Bill Piper went into Potts, and then that's since we're talking about parallels, I thought I'd throw that out there. And it's a cool fun fact as well, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely cool.
Sorry, I muted myself there. Yes, sorry, I muted myself there. I had to sneeze.
Oh, okay.
Oh, fair enough.
Thanks for saving our ears.
Also, I put this at the top. It's like Susan gets given a book on the French Revolution. Find it fitting how they made the finale of season 1, them going to the French Revolution. I thought that was
multiple times they say that the French Revolution is the Doctor's favourite period in history, because that's another Moffat pull when it comes to the girl in the fireplace as well.
Well, we've talked about the first part. Should we talk about the second part? I think the second part was mostly in the cave.
Well, no, I say the Cave of Skulls, as it's the second part's called, is the best part out of, I guess, 100,000 BC, purely because there's a good chunk of it spent in the TARDIS, and Ian and Barbara just getting used to it and stuff. It's like, oh my god, we just moved. We're in a different time period and everything.
That was where the acting came in.
We're not in a different time period. We're in a studio owned by the BBC, but yeah.
Well, I mean, come on, be fair to Waris Hussein, given that it's 1963 and he's got cameras that are the size of a small truck to deal with.
I think it was they said it was the smallest studio, and they had to pretty much hold everything the small studio. They used the same thing for Marco Polo. The Gobi Desert's huge, and you have to do it in this tiniest studio.
I must say though, they did very well with the studio, because you could obviously tell that there was screening, but it wasn't obvious.
It did look really good.
If you weren't looking for it, you could be like, that's reasonable for the time, especially.
Yeah, and if we're dealing with that kind of thing right now, I will say that if you get a chance to look them up, there is sort of maps of where the cameras have to go in the studio, which you should try and find, because it made me get a new appreciation for Waris Hussein, for the director, because they're all on tracks, and they've kind of got weird paths they all have to follow and it's got to be done more or less as live.
But the thing is, the very first episode, where the cameraman goes through the gates, and then it shows the TARDIS, and then it zooms out, and then it goes in on the sign. I thought that's very good, and of course the ambient sound of the TARDIS in the background, I loved it. It's proper gritty sci-fi, and I thought that's great.
Yes, totally agree with you on that one. Iconic shot, and for a reason. You can see why it was reused in Day of the Doctor as well. Completely.
Yes. But I was saying about, I've seen Josh Nair's documentary on the making of Marco Polo, and I imagine that was probably quite similar to 100,000 BC.
Yeah, very much so, yeah, because they only recently found the sort of camera maps and a lot of the photos and things from Marco Polo, because Waris Hussein didn't realise that he had them in his attic somewhere, which is how they were able to find a lot of the telly snaps, apart from I think there was 2 episodes of it he didn't direct, somebody else did, so we still haven't got those.
I wish Marco Polo got recovered. That'd be such an awesome story to get recovered. I mean, it's definitely possible. It's shipped out to 9 different countries.
I think there's definitely missing stories out there that they're just waiting for the right time. They're just waiting for the right time.
Storm the house of the prick who stole Weather Fear 3. Because that was just a joke.
But the thing is, there's obviously stories that will never be recovered.
Oh yeah.
There's stories that are not out
Feast
there.
of Stephen.
But I think there's going to be a proportion, maybe about 20 stories there must be out there. But the thing is, in my lifetime, I've got let's say 55 years left. I reckon only another 5, maybe 4 stories are going to be revealed in that time. I don't think.
Well, hopefully in your lifetime they'll all get animated.
I think every episode's going to be animated before the day I die.
Yeah, definitely.
It would be tough though with poor audio quality and high amount of characters, unless they give them a budget. That's what I always say. Give the animation team a freaking budget.
Do they have the original scripts?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
It's just the audio quality. Before Graham Strong rocks up and had a brilliant recording method, they weren't the best. Graham Strong started recording, I think, from the Daleks Master Plan onwards. So any missing story before the Daleks Master Plan has pretty poor audio quality.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, if there's nothing else to say about episode 2, the only other thing I've got to say, and it's going to make me sound like an old prude, I don't love that the Doctor's seen to be smoking, and I know it's something that's been addressed before, and it's necessary for the sort of oh look, he makes fire, but I'm just not fond of that for what's supposed to be a kids show, and that's
thing
all I'm
is,
gonna say on that.
But the thing
Well,
is,
that was like the 60s. Everyone smoked back then.
I'd agree with that, but I think
Cyberman smoked.
how I love that picture. That's so funny. But
No, I was talking about the An Adventure in Space and Time when they have the Mondasian Cyberman, just like the actor just.
Yeah.
The smoking bit, I kind of agree, but like you said, it forwarded on the plot that he could create fire, and I thought, who else would do that? And I thought, I don't want William Russell smoking. It's just that was my favorite character from the story, and I thought he had like an innocence to him, but like a charm. And I think to have him smoke and be the center of attention would take away from William Hartnell's incarnation.
I still think there was other ways to do that story, though. I mean, they could have a scene where they go into a dark cave and the Doctor strikes a match, kind of like, oh, it's dark in here, I can't see, and then they're like, look, he made fire. I don't think you need to have him sort of randomly just landing the TARDIS for the first time and then popping up and having a smoke of his pipe for no reason, you know.
Even though I wrote this though, which I thought was quite funny. Doctor was captured for smoking. Probably why he never smoked again.
Yes, probably.
Yeah. Well, I think we should quicken this up because we did miss a section earlier, which I want to go back to at the end. And we've only got 40 minutes before I have to do the Be the Choosers thing.
Well, I don't really have a lot else to say, so I can just blast out my thoughts for the rest if you want.
Episode 3 and 4, let's talk about...
I'll just quickly go through some other thoughts. I
I'll
said,
notes,
so Zara's OTT, and Susan was really annoying in that one, and she is for the rest of the series until Dalek Invasion of Earth. She's overrated. I said, do you think I care about Zara and Carl's rivalry? Put the cavemen are quite annoying, and I said that the cliffhanger wasn't even a cliffhanger. Oh, look! Some skulls! Ooh,
Yeah, but you gotta remember, they're not very intelligent. They're like subpar human. They're just like very early variations of humans.
Yeah.
But these are my notes. Give your opinion if you want. The jungle scenes were very enjoyable, in my opinion. It brought through the morals of Ian, Barbara, and Susan, and even the Doctor, though his morals weren't in the right place. It just shows you what kind of characters they all were. I also put the 4th episode is a return to form. It's paced well and the story is gripping. I would agree.
Yeah.
The fighting scene should have had more to it. The sense that the drumming music should have been started earlier and more common, because the drum beats add to the intensity of the fight. But it starts about halfway through the fight, and I thought, why not just start at the start? I put also, instead, the reaction shots were left to be lacking because the intensity wasn't there until the drum beats became more frequent. I also put the ending was nice, and by that point I was comfortable with the team and was eager for more. And then I go into my summary, so I'll stop there for now.
Yeah. When I was thinking about my notes, I only did the notes for part 2. I didn't do it. I'll just do them quickly for the rest of the story, like all the rest of the parts. Mostly in just part 4, because I didn't really do much in part 3. That was probably the weakest. I put so what happened to the tribe after they left? Because they captured, after the Doctor, Ian, Barbara, and Susan, they made fire. They pretty much kept them there. I'm assuming it was so they could consistently make fire. So did they all die after they left? And they just saw a great big box disappear out of nowhere. It's like, what happened? And
That's Doctor Who, though, isn't it?
Yeah. I liked how they ended it. It was wow.
And I put, they never caught a break in early 60s stories. Like, they always linked one story after another. Like, they do one story, then the next story immediately happens. It's not like in Modern Who, where there's, like, mid-stories, we never see, like, the one with Jim the Fish.
There was, I think, as they went on, there was gaps and bits and pieces where you could insert stories, and Big Finish has done a lot of that.
Yeah.
But certainly for the first season, if you want to refer to it as that, it is basically one episode leads too much onto the next. You can't insert anything anywhere, so I agree with you there.
Kind of similar to that, though, I want to mention, I like how the title sequence fades into the actual episode for a while.
Yeah.
Because, and then the music comes in well before the credits, which Modern Who doesn't do as well. And I thought it just brings the mystery to the show. I love it.
Yeah,
Also,
I will shout out as well, since there's nowhere else to do it, shout out to whoever invented the title sequence, which is fantastic. Again, it's iconic. There we go. So yeah, I know they did the music. I'm talking about the whoever decided to sort of, if you make a camera look down its own self and it does that weird circular motions thing as well. So
I couldn't quite hear what you said, but just to clarify, it was Ron Greener who did the title sequence. I think
He was talking about the camera and stuff.
The cameraman. Okay.
yeah, somebody, I do remember hearing somebody sort of recognise that if you pointed a camera down itself or something like that, that's what made that kind of weird pattern that happens.
And I thought also the materialization scene where the camera zoomed in on the panel at the front, the one that goes up and down with the lights, and I thought that was a great shot, direction-wise.
Yeah, that was literally the only note I made under special effects was that there's not much to speak of, but the TARDIS, anytime the TARDIS is kind of taking off or landing, is fantastic.
The TARDIS aesthetic is amazing. I love that TARDIS.
Yes.
Just got one more bit of notes at the end of that. It said, "Great cliffhanger to a much better episode."
Yeah, fair enough.
The Daleks is amazing.
Yeah. Well,
Not my favourite in season 1. Keys of Marinus is better in season 1, in my opinion.
I like that one, yeah.
Should we give our summaries for this episode then?
Well, I have a couple of very brief thoughts before we do that, but it won't take long, I promise. Just a few notes. Under the writing, I've said that the episode's good throughout, establishing the mystery of Susan, and then who the Doctor is, and the kind of idea of them as being alien time travelers. To that end, I think one of my favourite bits was the Travellers in the Fourth Dimension speech. That's a really great speech.
Dialogue,
yeah, it's brilliant. The biggest issue I had, if we're talking negatives with the episode, is, and I know it's not going to be popular, I do think it's a little bit sexist. Like Barbara tripping over a boar in episode 3 and she screams, or when they
fall over is crazy.
Yeah, or when the most egregious thing though is when they say they better free Ian because he's needed to defend them, and that's very kind of yikes, you know.
It wasn't overboard sexism, but there was definitely sexist undertones to it.
Yeah, I think it's more with modern eyes. I don't say it in a way that like it's like terrible, especially for the time. But looking at it now, I think we kind of have to acknowledge that it's a little bit there.
I wrote this down actually. Like for part 3, it's like, so her just stands and screams as Zara's getting mauled.
Yeah,
like it was like a bit weird. How she just stands there and screams like she doesn't do anything. Like, yeah.
The only other note that I made was under direction for episode 4, which is a bit of a nerdy thing. I thought it was really effective when they worked out the kind of burning skulls thing, but all the way through, literally all I could think of was Ghost Rider through that entire scene because it looks so much like him.
I like that scene. I thought it was very clever how they used that to trick him. I think Mario actually said he didn't like that bit. Like it was
I like that bit.
I think he mentioned that. But I really enjoyed that bit.
All I thought about it was gullible cavemen.
Yeah.
All right.
But that links back to their subpar knowledge.
Yeah.
They needed everything dumbed down to them.
So do we want to start with Mario and give our overall kind of summaries of the episode?
All right, so I'll give my summary. So part 1 is amazing, iconic, so good, great atmosphere, great music, everything. 9 out of 10. I've already mentioned that. But then it drifts into a very different story, which just might as well be its own thing, with some cavemen and a rivalry we don't care about, and other things we don't care about. It's quite slow, quite boring. The fight scenes in part 4 are interesting and stuff. But the second half, second 3 quarters, I guess, but, you know, this 100,000 BC bit is significantly weaker. I give the 100,000 BC bit a 4 out of 10. And altogether, unfortunately, because the 100,000 BC takes so much of the episode, I give the episode entirely a 5 out of 10.
Ooh.
Okay.
I would want to give it higher, but 100,000 BC is just not my thing.
Okay.
That makes sense. Did you want to go next then, Will, and then I'll round us up?
Yeah, sure. I think I actually gave most of my thoughts at the start on the summary.
Fair enough.
I'll just repeat my summary because there are things I did purposely miss out. So I put a terrific establishing episode to start it all off. It gave us a history lesson, which I appreciated, but there was only so much they could do, and it sort of fell flat and into mediocrity. Is that the word? Mediocrity?
Yeah.
I think democracy or whatever. Yeah.
Not democracy.
Excluding the Doctor, that's I hate you. The trio was good, though a tad overacted at times, as we've already said. I liked the music and the direction, and the setting was very good, in my opinion, for the time, especially. Overall, a good solid story, but with much potential to be sought after. My rating would be a 7.
Right. Okay. So just very quickly, because I'm aware of your time crunch, I'll get into mine and say that it was mostly good to great. Hartnell was a little bit too rough around the edges for me, especially in the latter 3 episodes. And the women don't fare very well in the writing, but I suppose that's maybe because of the time. There's occasional stumbles over sort of words or things, but that's due to the schedule, so you kind of forgive it. Episode 4 surprised me with how violent it was, almost, particularly for the time. I mean, not now, but for 63, I think it would have been a little bit shocking. There was some good moments of tension. I agree that the cliffhanger leading into the better episode was good. And I do want to give a quick couple of shout-outs, first of all, to Verity Lambert and Sydney Newman and everyone involved in the creation of the show. And reiterate, if you get a chance to, really do go and watch An Adventure in Space and Time, Mark Gatiss' kind of docudrama about the formation of the show, because it's far better than the first episode itself actually is.
So good.
Yeah,
I'd
can't recommend it enough.
It nearly made me cry. I only say nearly because I don't cry in films.
I found with that special, how the start was linked to the end, and the exit of William Hartnell was very clever. You'd think, why is he crying? And then at the end, it really kicks in. It's like, damn. But the point I wanted to make was there will be people that are listening to this that have not watched modern classic Who at all. So I can't recommend it. I can recommend it enough. That's what I meant, not at all.
Yeah, agreed. That's what I was saying.
Yeah, please watch the classic series. Don't miss it.
Start with Genesis of the Daleks, because that's one everyone recommends, and it's a great one. And just work your way from there, okay? Yeah. They're on Daily Motion, for goodness sake. You can find them there. No excuse.
Watch/series.co also do, and that's how I watch my stories. Just remember to use ad blocker, and if there are pop-ups, just close them. Don't worry about it.
Okay, well, I will say that I watch the classic episodes on BritBox to give it a quick shout out, other than the ones that are missing, which I do use Daily Motion for the Telesnap reconstructions. The only other note I had was the slight controversy about did Susan name the TARDIS, which comes from this episode. But it's kind of proven to be a complete lie multiple times since. It doesn't make a lot of sense. I get why they might have thought that, but yeah, I think at this point we kind of have to agree that she was lying. So overall I think I would say more or less exactly the same as you guys, and surprisingly the same as Mario, who I promise I didn't copy off. I would say there's 1 great episode, 3 episodes that are mostly poor, below average, and for all 4 parts together overall I literally did also give it 5 out of 10, mostly for the iconic episode 1. So, just quickly while Will's totting up those scores, I do want to give a quick shout out for a Twitter account which is at Kieran C. Hodgson. He's a hilarious guy who does kind of parody, really quick versions of the first few episodes of Doctor Who. It's not hugely disrespectful, but it is hilarious, especially if you've seen the episodes. And his kind of briefly reacted version of, he's currently done an Unearthly Child, The Daleks and the Edge of Destruction.
Yeah, I've seen them.
Since we're addressing an Unearthly Child, I thought I'd give him a shout out and say, if you've seen the episode in particular, because you'll appreciate it more, do go to at Kieran C. Hodgson and give him a quick like, because I love what he's doing there, and he does pick up on a lot of the things that are a little bit worth criticising, maybe. Yeah. So, yeah.
Seeing as we're talking about a Hartnell story, and Hartnell's this guy's favourite Doctor, can I give a shout out too to a certain YouTuber?
Sure.
Yeah, of course.
Give a shout out to Josh Snares, because he makes amazing videos. Just because we're talking about 60s and stuff, he makes amazing videos on like the missing episodes, documentaries about them. I can't stop rewatching the Missing Episodes series and the Daleks Master Plan documentary. They are stellar. He also has a loads of other stuff. Just expect fanboys of Hartnell and Nyssa.
Right.
Cool.
Well, I just so everyone knows at home, I did actually address this in episode 3, but it's too late because this will be going out first. This schedule is a nightmare. But we have a leaderboard and we rank each episode where what we've rated, and we put onto the leaderboard with the average score, and then after each episode, it goes under or above the episodes that we rated the week before. And because this is the first one, technically, there will be we will not be revealing the score we gave to the third episode, which we aren't revealing at this time, but it's a start, and it's 5.6.
Fair enough.
And I think that is very harsh. I think that is harsh.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't.
No,
For all
don't
four
worry.
parts, I don't think it is. I think that's about. That's more or less what I would say. It's worth.
Yeah.
Oh,
I decided to round down. I was thinking maybe I should round it up to a 6, but I thought, nah, I'll stick
In
with
the grand
5.
scheme of things, we've got some. The episodes we're doing are mostly good ones, so I think Unearthly Child is gonna fall at near the bottom of the list, which I think is harsh. But
Rip.
rest in peace.
I mean, it's worth noting though that if we were just rating the episode called An Unearthly Child, that it would have an average of 9 point something, because it was
Yes.
a 9 and 2 10s. So
Well,
I know, I
Unearthly
kind of
Child
regret giving it
5.6.
a 9. Yeah, I kind of regret giving it a 9 at the
It
moment.
probably would have come up to a 10, to be honest. I gave
Fair
it a 10.
enough.
He would have gave it a 10. You gave it a 10. So
then, yeah, maybe it's worth a little asterisk next to An Unearthly Child, where we would actually give the first episode a complete 10, because that would make that top the list, I think, any day. So
well,
Split it up in Unearthly Child and 100,000 BC. Come on.
yeah. Well, in episode 3, I didn't intend to do this, but you mentioned it, Mike. And since the name of the podcast is Hit or Miss, we may as well give each story a hit or a miss score, as well as our rating. Now, you two have rated the episode very average in the middle,
Oh,
so
God.
this will be tougher for you. Is Unearthly Child, the 4 episodes altogether, a hit or a miss?
Hits because it's the first episode.
yeah, I think hit, but that's entirely because of that first episode, which does all the heavy lifting to get it there.
I'll
If
give
it
a
was
hit.
just a random episode in the center of season 2 or something, it would definitely be a miss.
I'll give it a hit. I like the story. I like the story.
Fair enough.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm sure there will be people that hopefully agree with all of us. And I've actually decided I'm going to put, on some YouTube videos, you can have the eye at the top, and then it
Oh, yeah.
expand.
Oh,
you can,
poll, yeah.
And you can expand it, and a poll comes up. I think I'm going to do that, and I'm going to say, do you agree with our assessments? And
I
then
don't
I'll
think-
do
I
another
think-
one saying
no.
hit or miss.
YouTube got rid of the polls in the iCards.
Today.
Oh.
Yeah, they got rid of them.
Well, we'll always have the comments anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. I may put like a straw poll in the description. I'll link a straw poll.
You can do a Twitter poll as well.
That's what I was going to do that. Yeah. Wow. That's the episode review. How do you guys think that went?
Amazing.
Yeah, I agree.
Brilliant.
That was so much fun to do.
Yeah, this is the second one we've done, and it's great fun. I'm
The
enjoying
thing
it.
is, I thought my internet was going to go down. I thought it was going to be like a really messy episode, but it wasn't.
Yeah, like I said, I have done podcasts before, but never a super lengthy one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this ain't super lengthy. It's like an hour and a half so far.
But
I've
no,
already
but
concluded
I
about
haven't done
2
any
hours.
which were longer than half an hour. So
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. I'm aware that we've skipped over your on this day section, though, Will. I don't know if you
I
want
was
to.
going to go to that.
keep the hit or miss stuff at the start because that was a load of fun.
It is. The hit and miss is staying the second section. On this day will be the first section from now on. But just please keep listening if you're listening at home, which I'm sure you are. Just don't turn off, please. But from episode 2 onwards, it will be on this day, then hit or miss, then the episode review, then a final chat about anything we want. Like in episode 3, we talked about the chase because we didn't know. Actually, that's the point. The news should have been the final thing we talked about because that was the final thing we talked about in episode 3. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
You know, maybe we can see who stuck around to the end. If you stuck around to the end and you're hearing this, put something like type it in a normal comment and then put in brackets or something gullible cavemen.
Yes, gullible caveman. in
Absolutely, yeah.
complete brackets.
Yeah, or just a simple comment which just says gullible cavemen to say that you've sat through the whole podcast, and we'll give
Or
it.
do you know what? If you've sat through till this part at the very end, just write down in the comments. Do you think Susan's lying and bragging about making up the TARDIS name? Because I think she is. So,
Yeah, I think she
Watch
is.
this
'cause,
podcast,
you know.
get absolutely no comments. Nobody comments at all.
I'll comment. I got a chance.
Oh, I will.
Saying, look,
Okay.
it's me. It's me.
But the thing is, the Chase, that got about 4 or 5 comments on every episode, so I'm sure people will comment on this one. Undoubtedly.
Oh, I'll be signal boosting it. Don't worry, I'll be sharing it around social media and stuff.
Yeah, like, this will be the podcast I promote the most, along with the greatest podcast in the cosmos.
Yeah, I think because we have guests on each week, we have more marketing potential. That's why I think it's going to be engaging, not just the marketing perspective, but the actual episodes themselves. I think they're going to be great, getting a different perspective each week, and I think that's what makes it so good, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I think this podcast is great fun. We've had 2 recordings now. I'm really enjoying it. So this will be going on the 18th, so October the 18th on this day. And you guys just give your thoughts. If you recognise a name later on, just tell me. Okay. Same with you guys in the comments listening on. So on this day, October the 18th, Planet of Evil, Part 4, premiered in 1975.
I don't remember anything about that story. It's a pretty dull one.
Okay. Well, Meglos Part 4 also premiered
Oh
in
god, Meglos.
1980. Meglos Part 4.
Okay.
The trial
well,
of
it's got it's got what is it? Jacqueline Hill who played Barbara.
Yes. Yeah.
This was also in episode 3 actually. This story, but it's I think it's an earlier episode of it. The Trial of the Time Lord Part 7 premiered in 1986, and I know Mike has not watched this.
That's part 3 of Mind Warp, right?
Yes.
Yeah, part 3 of Mind Warp.
I don't know if it's Mind Warp. It must. I think it might be.
I think it was because the last one, which was actually episode 3, I think was Terror of the Vervoids, so it would make sense.
Yeah, it was it's a mysterious planet, Mind Warp, Terror of the Vervoids, and the best one, Ultimate Foe.
Yeah. Next one, Ghostlight Part 3 premiered in 1989.
What the heck happened in Ghostlight? I still don't understand. No,
Ooh, someone's got a visitor.
Yeah, that was me. Okay, well,
Oh, bless.
next one, Doctor Who: The Greatest Moments, The Daleks, premiered in 2009. That was like a special,
I've never
feature
seen that.
episode. Yeah, neither have I.
Neither am I.
Yeah.
Oh, that just reminds me of something I saw. I think was it 2013? It's greatest monsters and villains, and it'll be it'll be like a top 10. Like there'll be 5-10 minutes just talking about an episode, and then it would just show you a random episode. For some reason, the Cybermen one was the next Doctor instead of the series 2 two-parter. The Dalek one, which is number 1, was Dalek. That was the first time I saw Dalek. Yes. The Silence was number 4 and stuff. The Ice Warrior was number 6, something like that. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Right. The Vault of Secrets, episode 1, premiered in 2010.
Never heard of it.
Oh.
Was that
Sarah Jane Adventures, yeah.
That was the Sarah Jane Adventures.
Alright, I'm terrible with the Sarah Jane Adventures.
I think it was
names.
the of course there was the Doctor Who special, the Men in Black one, but it's not that one. It's the Men in Black
What season?
inspired.
It is. It's Androvax and the Men in Black, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, what season was it?
I'm having a
Oh,
look.
I couldn't tell you that. 3 maybe. Hang on, I've got the DVDs literally.
Series
If it's
4,
season 3, then obviously I don't
season
know it.
4,
Season...
episode 3.
Yeah, season 3 and 4 I don't remember anything of. Those ones suck.
But yeah, it's the Andrew Vax Men in Black.
There it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's on the Series 4 box set right after The Nightmare Man and just before Death of the Doctor.
I love the night.
So, part between
season
two really
3's
good episodes.
season 4's good. Season 4
Galaxy's full of Sarah Jane, yeah.
Serial, yeah.
The only episodes I liked in season 4 were The Nightmare Man, Death of the Doctor, and... Those are the only ones that I remember off the top of my head.
Empty Planet, Lost in Time, and Goodbye Sarah Jane Smith.
Oh yeah, Goodbye Sarah Jane. I just remembered that. That
I
was
don't
great.
think it's in season 4, but I would just want to mention quickly the Revenge of Mona Lisa.
Oh yeah,
Mona
that was season 3.
that story gave me nightmares as a kid. I hated it.
The penultimate episode of season 3.
I really liked that one. That was a really fun one.
It was a good
in my
one,
opinion.
but it was very scary.
I don't think it was that scary.
Well, as a kid, you're very susceptible to scary things.
Yeah, I think
some
the only-
insignificant things are
I
scary.
remember the only when I was younger before I saw the whole series, I only saw one Sarah Jane Adventures episode, and it was the second part of The Gift, the one with the father in, and that one scared me because those plants were freaky and the thing the disease they gave you and stuff. It's ugh. That freaked me out.
Yeah, well, the Sarah Jane Adventure Alien Files, should I say, episode 2 premiered on that day, I guess. Another Sarah Jane Adventures one, The Man Who Never Was, episode 2, which was actually the final episode with Sarah Jane in. Very sad. That premiered in 2011.
For me, the only episode in Series 5 which I like is Curse of Clyde Langer.
That episode, they ended that episode. Being in the final season, I'm so happy that was in the final season.
Yes, even though I really wish it was just like it was plopped into like if they knew what was going to happen and stuff, it was like just plopped into Series 4 and stuff, and they just ended it there with Goodbye Sarah Jane.
But that was a great episode. Did you watch that, Mike?
Yeah, I think we're definitely going to have to review a Sarah Jane story or two.
Definitely.
So yeah, I did, and I like it a lot. So.
Unpopular opinion, I prefer Sarah Jane Adventures to Torchwood, just because it's a bit more. I think Torchwood is a bit too heavy for me. I would say.
Nostalgia-wise, in my childhood, I loved the Sarah Jane Adventures, but I think someone's just gone. No, I got another message.
Oh, Lewis. Lewis just asked, "Are you still doing the pilot?"
Still doing the pilot, yeah.
Could someone message him?
All right, we'll
saying
get
yes.
through the rest of these. Stop talking about Sarah Jane. We'll get through the rest of these.
Okay. Flatline premiered in 2014, as did the Doctor Who
amazing.
extra special 4 hits.
Flatline's amazing.
I like Flatline. Iconic moment. Now,
I love that episode. Yeah, it's good.
That's the episodes out of the way. It's now the births and the deaths. There's only one birthday today, actually. Shauna, the second name, TRPCIC. Shauna
Trippic.
Yeah.
Will be 54. She was the main costume designer in Torchwood Miracle Day, incidentally. We were talking about that earlier.
Shame she was stuck with such bad season.
No, it was good.
Yeah, I think I don't know why you wouldn't have this down, but I did see on Twitter something that it was, I think, Nicola Bryant's birthday today as well.
Oh, yeah.
It's
could be
not
wrong.
on this day. It's the 18th of October.
It's on
okay.
the 11th.
Yeah.
Which is what
So
on
on this day.
Sorry, apologies.
It's not actually today. It's just the episode when it'll be out.
Yeah, that was my fault. Sorry, because I forgot that we were going out on a different day.
Oh, did you not recognise that yesterday either?
I'm a fool. I'm old. Let me go.
Okay. Well, happy birthday to them. They will be 54. Edward Brayshaw would have been 87. He was in the War Games.
I haven't seen it. Sorry.
You haven't seen the War Games?
Not yet, no.
Oh man, you're going to be slaughtered.
My dad doesn't like the War Games. He thinks it's too slow.
It is.
But it's 10 parts, isn't it?
It is 10.
I don't think
ridiculous.
it breezed by for me.
I like it. I like it, but it's
when I watch it, my parents insist on like watching 5 parts one day, 5 parts the other. It's like I just want to watch all 10 parts. It's so good.
It's good, but it's just too long.
I don't think it is. It breezes by for me.
Okay, well we've got a couple minutes. Quickly, let's get through this. John Collin, who died in 1987, would have been 92. He was in The Leisure Hive.
Boo! Leisure Hive.
You're booing someone's death. No,
I meant Boo is The Leisure Hive.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, Maro is an awful human being.
No, shame he had. No, I mean Boo that he had to be stuck with such an awful story.
Yeah. Well,
I'm sad that he's dead. Sad that he's dead.
He was
Rest in
92, 1987. Aged 58. That's not an age to die. That's very early.
Oh, jeez, 58.
Really young.
Sheila Jill would have been 94. She was in the Mordrin Undead.
Oh, I like that one.
Yeah.
She has a good episode.
And that was like the birthdays, but also the deaths. So it was their birthday on the 18th, but they died on another day. I
But
believe.
they sadly passed away, yeah.
But on this day, John Hollis passed away in 2005, aged 64. He was in The Mutants.
Not a fantastic ep, but not a great age either.
Probably my second least favourite Pertwee behind Death to the Daleks.
Okay.
Well,
I hate Death to the Daleks, it's so boring.
Well, would you guys like to wrap this up? Mike?
Yeah, just quickly, just wanted to say I hope everyone enjoyed the podcast. This is going to be our first episode, but it's our second recording, and once again we've went a little bit longer, I think, but hopefully we might be able to.
This is shorter than yesterday's. Hour 47.
Fair enough.
It'll come up to about 1:43.
Fair
Can I
enough.
just-
Yeah, go ahead, Mario.
Can I just say that this was a lot of fun to do?
Thanks for being here.
You
Thanks for
can.
coming on.
I enjoyed it so much. Also, I just want to clarify, I don't have anything against dead people.
Okay.
Well, I was just about to say I want to thank Mario for coming on the podcast. Boo! No, I'm kidding. Thank you very much for coming on and being our first guest that people will get to hear. I think you had a lot of opinions, a lot of them good.
You were great.
Um,
I agree
And
with
you
you
were-
for most of them. Besides
You
Amy's
did?
voice. Besides
Well,
Amy's-
yeah.
Get out of here.
Oh man, you deserve hell for that. No.
I think we may have upset Will once or twice too many times. So.
I
You
promise that,
upset
that
Will.
won't be an ongoing joke, I promise. Because I'm sure I got annoying
I
after 4
upset Will
times.
because I don't like the Ganger two-parter.
Yeah. Oh well.
Man.
Taste for everyone. We'll definitely just drop out, everyone. I don't know.
No, Jack.
Yeah. Anyway, just to give a quick wrap up to everyone.
You're loud, you're loud, you're
That's
loud.
the first episode. If you like, do the usual stuff. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Go ahead and follow us on social media. Right. Sorry about that. As I was saying, yeah, do the usual things. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Share the podcast to as many, particularly Whovians, as you know.
I definitely didn't.
and-
I definitely didn't plug my channel when you guys were gone.
Well, I was just gonna say, do you guys want to quickly give your Twitter or Facebook handles or anything for people to follow?
It'll be in the description, but
I'll-
you can say it if you want.
All right, I'll just say that. But yeah, as I was jokingly saying, I have a YouTube channel, Mario Bowser 494. And my Twitter is at Bowser 494. So if you're interested, I do make some Doc 2 videos. I made a fun one earlier today when filming this. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm at Iron Mike Wilson on Twitter, all one word, lowercase. But it'll be in the description. And join us for episode 2, which I think we're recording next week. Will you?
Next Sunday with Andrew Kemp, my good friend. That'll be an interesting one.
Excellent, cool. Okie dokie. I'll make sure to message you later about which episode that is to keep it straight. But
I think it's.
I may remember.
Wait, I won't say it. But yeah.
Don't reveal it. Yeah. But
It's a
yeah.
two-parter. I'll
So
give you that.
do you want to just? Yes, absolutely. Yeah, I know the one then. Do you want to wrap things up and head us out of here then, Will?
Well, before we stop, we did have a prediction in the previous episode. Well, technically 2 episodes ahead. But we had a prediction of how long this episode would come out, like how many hours, how many minutes. So,
Yes.
can I just say, you were far out yesterday. You were about 12-13 minutes out. So we're currently at 1 hour 51. What time do you think? How long do you
Well,
reckon?
There wasn't that many dropouts, so I reckon this is going to be 1:48. I don't think
Yeah,
it'll
all
be that
the
much.
dropouts were just for jokes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I reckon it'll be 1:49.
Oh, come on. Your price is right at me. You're just going one higher.
Yeah, 1:49.
Fair enough.
I didn't vote, so
Go for it. How long?
all right. I'll vote for. Seeing as episode 2 hasn't been recorded yet, I'll vote for what I think episode 2 will. How long episode 2 will be?
Okay.
I think episode 2 will be about an hour 45.
Watch that be our longest one now. No, you said that.
Well, and I've just remembered what we're talking about, and there's a chance it might be. So-
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
What are you talking about?
yeah. No, we're not
Oh,
saying, we're not
we'll
saying.
tell you later. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys if you've made it this far.
Don't forget Gullible Cavemen.
Yeah, put in the comments. I will see you guys next week where we will be reviewing another story. Until then, peace out.
Take care. Bye.